Now that we've had an overview of cues, questions, and advanced organizers, we're going to take a look at a cue that you can use to start your lesson. One of those is called hooks and bridges. Hooks and bridges is a lesson opening technique that uses engaging questions or activities to hook your learners to spark student interest and activate background knowledge. Students' responses are then connected or bridged to the purpose of the content of the upcoming lesson or the unit. Let's take a look at how this works. This will help our students understand and know and help us to preview content, activate that prior knowledge, as well as increase engagement before a lesson even starts. So the ways that we can hook a student include presenting a challenge, sparking curiosity, stimulating a debate, appealing to students' interests, inviting speculation, involving physical movement, inspiring creative thinking, asking students to make personal and real-world connections, as well as triggering an emotional response. To create a hook and bridge, there are 6 basic steps we need to follow. The first one is simply just thinking about the topic and, of course, understanding the learning goals. The next portion is to design an engaging question or activity to hook or introduce the overall topic or the learning goal. Keep in mind, a well-designed hook should capture that student's interest as well as get them thinking about the content as well as activate prior knowledge. The next would be to present that hook at the onset of the lesson or the unit and have students think and share about what they're thinking about the hook. Make sure to give students time to think about it. You can even deepen their thinking by having the students work through a think, pair, share to activate that prior knowledge with a peer. Next, you'll collect and summarize the student responses, and then you'll go in for the connection and make the connection to the question and the activity, the hook, along with the responses, which creates the bridge. You can incorporate the hooks and bridges as often as possible to maximize engagement and stimulate thinking and different thinking as well. We've included some design and implementation questions as well as some examples in the handouts after this video. Let's take a look at an example where the hook invites speculation. So imagine you are introducing a lesson on the fall of the Roman Empire. You're asking students to speculate about possible causes of the hypothetical event. Your hook would include imagining that you jumped into a time machine, traveled 100 years into the future, and found that the U.S. was no longer a superpower. What may have happened? And the students can then develop some possible explanations. So you're taking a big idea and just having them think through it. Next, you're going to make that connection. Believe it or not, you're just identified many of the factors that were responsible for the decline and fall of the Roman Empire hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Today, we will look at some of the factors in more detail. So then you can use some of the examples that were written down by students and talk about how they have similarities with what happened in the Roman Empire. And that is just a way that you can hook your students. And then you can also go back to that hook and bridge and think about that as students may make more connections with what happened in the United States through their time machine. Keep in mind, there are many types of cues, and this was just one example of a strategy that you can use to cue your students. You may also notice that you have visual cues in your classroom, verbal cues, gestural cues, as well as environmental cues. These are all great components to have in a classroom. This will also be a handout you will find in the documents. Thanks again for joining in the course, and we hope you enjoyed this overview of cues used in cues, questions, and advanced organizers.